Welcome to Stab by Nipples Smash Podcast. We're going to be interviewing Wobbles today. My name is Sheridan, also known as Huga on the forums. And so yeah, let's ask Wobbles some questions. Alright, so Stingers wants to know, what inspired you to play Ice Climbers?
Nothing specifically. My friends started playing Ice Climbers back in the day because he wanted to pick a character that nobody else used. So, since he didn't go on Smashboards and I did, someone had to look stuff up to tell him what it was. So that person was me. And then over time, I just played them every now and then and found out that I actually won with them more than anybody else and that my Fox was actually terrible, but nobody had the heart to tell me. So I just started using them and making stuff up. And that's pretty much how I got where I am now.
Very good. Would you like to talk about AZ Anger?
AZ Anger is very fierce. Chaos Star. Yeah. We're a very emotional bunch. We love the game. We invest ourselves into it heavily. Sometimes things don't always work out. You can't help but get a little upset. For the record, I've not thrown a single controller since Mango Juice. Not once. And I just want everyone to know that. Stop asking whether I throw controllers, or I will throw one at you. How's that sound? Sound good? Yeah, I thought not. What makes me different from Chew?
How does your play style differ from Chew's?
Well, for starters, I try. Chudat doesn't really care, and I constantly find new stuff and try and invent new stuff and add things to my game, and Chu has pretty much just been playing the same way for the past several years. But the thing is that he's a lot more intuitive about the game, he's a lot more innately smart when it comes to the game, so he just sees through people, just goes in and he hits them, and then they die, and then he wins. And that's pretty much how Chu plays. Me, I have a lot more tricks and traps and plans and all kinds of stuff because I don't have that same level of intuitiveness that Chu does.
So apparently Magus has found a new infinite with Ice Climbers, and I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe you can explain it to us and whether you tend to use it at wobbling band tournaments.
Basically, what it is most people had seen Chu use Headbutt Blizzard with the Ice Climbers. If you do it with a specific timing, a specific consistent timing, you can actually keep people locked in the grab forever using Blizzard without actually using any tilts. Most people don't know that, and so if people decide to ban wobbling, quote, end quote, and then they don't specify that this new Blizzard Infinite is banned, some Ice Climber players are thinking that we should go and use it and try and enforce the notion that banning a grab infinite is a lot more nebulous than most people would think. I'm not entirely sure. I'm really bad at it. I tried learning it. I can't seem to get it down.
Yeah, it seems like you could just incorporate that into the definition of what wobbling is.
Yeah,
if the tournament organizer
it would turn into no grab infinites. Right. The only problem with that is then you start going, okay, well, how many tilts can I do? Okay, who's gonna watch?
Yeah.
Who's gonna say I did 2? No, he did 3. You know, it's so difficult to enforce. It just becomes a he said, my word versus somebody else's.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like, even with tournaments that have wobbling ban, it seems like that doesn't really come up that much, or not that I've known. Even though it's really a soft ban, since nobody's really, made some clear definitions about what you can and can't do. But I don't know. It seems like everybody seems to respect that. I don't know if there's if you know of any instances where people have tried to flirt with breaking the definition.
I like if I'm in a tournament where it's banned. Let's say I'm only allowed to use 3 forward tilts when I grab somebody. I wind up doing 3 forward tilts, down throw, down air. I re-grab them. I do 3 forward tilts. If I grab them on a platform, I'll do 3 forward tilts, I'll do a handoff, I'll do 3 more forward tilts, and I'll just use the ordinary chain grabs and mix it with the extra damage. Now, if I were to, during all of this, at some point throw in 4 tilts, who would notice? And somebody actually, when I did this, said, no, that's banned. And I said, actually, it's three tilts, and I only did 3. And he just said, okay. I don't think he was counting. I think I could have just made up any number, and he wouldn't have known.
Right.
I didn't, because
So with this
I
tournament,
destroyed him anyhow. But that's not the point.
the TO specifically said a certain number of tilts.
Well, at this one, it's legal.
Oh, okay.
Apex wobbling is legal.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I know, a lot of people didn't. They're gonna be surprised.
Do you want to like give a brief argument of your position on wobbling? I know you've probably done it like a million times.
I have.
For the podcast.
There are a couple basic arguments against it. First one, that it's broken. If it were broken, Ice Climbers would win. Some people say the technique is broken and the character isn't, but you can't take the character away from the technique. What if Peach, instead of her neutral B, had a shine? That would be broken because she'd be wave shining into her down smash all the time. She'd be float canceling into shine, into float cancel neutral air into down smash. The shine, you can't divorce the move from the character. So the idea that the Ice Climbers have an infinite, turns out that it's actually really difficult to grab somebody if they really don't want to get grabbed. So the number of times it comes up against a player who knows how to fight Ice Climbers is low. The number of times it becomes the single deciding factor in a match, it's not as high as you might think. Another argument is that it takes away control from the other players, but really, when you think about it, there are tons of situations where your character is as good as dead, and the only thing that saves you is the other guy actually letting you back onto the level, in the case of a guaranteed edge hog, or something like that. Or you could air dodge off the level and have control over where you fall, but you're still dead. Character control doesn't mean your stock still exists in any meaningful manner. And lastly, that it's gay, to which I reply, no you. And that's pretty much my stance on it mostly. There are tons of ways to play this game, and if you think about all the number of gimps and all the number of ways that you can just take somebody's stock away in the blink of an eye, if you just pretend that you got gimped, that your stock is gone, just accept that it's gone, and suddenly it doesn't feel so bad. And every now and then the Ice Climber player messes it up, and then your stock comes back, and then they panic and they want that grab again, they want to finish it, they get impatient. It actually gives you an advantage for a short period of time, psychologically speaking. People get a bit too flustered by the fact that they think it's a 0 to death combo, whereas I look at it as a gimp. And when I look at it like that, all I see is the Ice Climbers can gimp characters. Fox can gimp characters. Falco, Puff gets her rest. But then people wanted to ban Puff or ban her rest, and they say she's broken, so so much for that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty clear that we haven't seen any evidence that wobbling is a broken strategy or anything like that. So I'm glad you commented on that. The other argument, which was that the removing control from the character, because that seems to be what everybody else is holding on to now and trying to ban wobbles.
Like, let's say you're a Falco beneath the level without your double jump. You're dead. Any Falco main will tell you you're dead, and the only thing that actually keeps you alive is the other guy being bad at Smash. Like, that's about it.
Right.
It has nothing to do with you as a Falco. You can try and change your angle, you can try and tech, but so many characters have ways of just getting down there and murdering you and not even giving you a chance. Just because you can control the angle at which you die does not mean that you don't die. So the character control thing is just, it's kind of silly, if you ask me. Also, the whole evidence about wobbling being broken, you have a lot of tournament evidence suggesting that with or without it, it does not break the metagame. Since people camp the living hell out of Ice Climbers anyhow, nothing meaningful about the matchup changes, just gets a bit harder for players who aren't as good. So, but we don't cater to players who aren't as good. We worry about what legitimately breaks the game. If someone
you would say that it influences tournament results, though.
Not at the high end, in any way that I see as being important. If somebody gets 37th as opposed to 31st because they got infinited on their last stock, I say, why are you worried about that guy taking 37th as opposed to 31st?
Right.
And why was the match that close to begin with? That it could have been decided by a single grab, especially if the Ice Climber player is good at any other chain grabs.
Wasn't there a SoCal tournament where you came and wobbling was allowed and you came in and you got first, and then they banned it the next one?
Not ever at a SoCal tournament.
It was like, I think this was an Irvine one.
CSA 5, Wobbles got second to Mango.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I beat Lucky and Zoo with it legal.
Yeah.
But I believe that the fact that it was legal changed the way they played. They were very cautious against me and less aggressive. They were less willing to attack me. And because of that, I got away with a lot more stuff. It's not because I couldn't, it's because I was allowed to infinite that I won, but not because I actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
I had just as many chain grabs and death opportunities that would have sealed me victory anyhow. And I know people like to look at the matches and say I was getting outplayed, but people would. If they were recorded stabbed, they would say I was getting outplayed. They did it with the Ken match, but some mistakes are bigger than others. Air dodging off the level is worse than air dodging in the middle of the stage. And letting an Ice Climber player get a synced grab on you at 50% is a big mistake. Mm-hmm. It's as bad as being caught under the level without your double jump as Falcon. They're different kinds of mistakes. And sometimes people make them and then they think they don't deserve to be punished as hard as possible for them. Which is really lazy and lame way to look at it, if you ask me. What one thing about playing Ice Climbers frustrates me the most that I have difficulty with when playing other players?
I'm from
Iron Dragon.
It would pretty simply be heavy camping, the willingness to run out the timer on me. Because the Ice Climbers aren't terribly good at catching characters like Fox and Captain Falcon, and you have to expose yourself a lot just to throw out like an up air or something. So, and the Fox or the Falcon can control almost the entire time when they want to attack you. They can get around you very easily, they can get over you, through you, under you, and then when they decide they want to at your most vulnerable, they kick the crap out of you. And if they camp, they force you to throw out those risky moves in the hopes that you will get a % lead and they can't legitimately camp the top platform anymore. I don't blame people for playing like that. As I've said before, if you think a strategy is legal and will lead to your victory, then you should totally do it. I don't camp because I'm bad at camping. I don't think it helps me win, so I don't do it. I have done it in tournaments in instances where I knew it would help me win, and it did, and I have no regrets about that. But Hax and J-Man here at Apex said they fully intend to sit on the top platforms of Battlefield and Dreamland against me, and if at all possible, win with a 2% lead with both of us at 4 stocks. So, you know, that sucks. That's my enlightening take on that issue.
Do you think they're doing that only because wobbling is legal, or...?
No, I think they would do it against me anyhow.
Yeah.
Because forcing the Ice Climbers into a bad position and then splitting them up and killing Nan is how you beat them. Sitting on the top platform and jumping around like a maniac and making them try to up air you and then getting under them, that's a great way to do it. You might as well camp them at all times if it's so effective. So, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating, no.
Okay.